Hello and welcome students. So today we are going to study the chapter number 4. It is chemical kinetics. Okay, and it is the part after the organic chemistry. We had studied two chapters of the organic chemistry. Now we are going to study the physical chemistry. Chapter is chemical kinetics. So first question arises in our mind after the hearing the word that chemical kinetics, that what is the chemical kinetics. So chemical kinetics is the branch of chemistry in which rate of reaction and factors affecting the rate of reactions are studied. Okay, so the branch of chemistry in which the rate of reaction, we study about the rate of reaction. Okay, so what do you mean by the rate of reaction? Simple words में अगर explain करूँ तो the speed of the reaction. Suppose I am giving you example. The reaction A is happens. Suppose A is convert into B. This is a general reaction, and it takes times of the 5 minutes. Okay, and suppose the another reaction which is C converting into the D, and it takes time 0.5 second. Okay, so which reaction is fast? This reaction is fast as compared to this, and we can also say the rate of the reaction of this reaction is more than this reaction. So I hope you are now able to understand that what is the rate of reaction. जो reaction जितना fast हो रही है, जितना जल्दी product में reactant convert हो रहा है, उसका रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन उतना हाई होता है, उतना उसका वैल्यू जो होता है हाई होता है. सो रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन, so the rate of reaction is change in amount or concentration of a reactant or of a product per unit time. Okay, पर यूनिट टाइम में जो उसका रेट ऑफ जो उसका कंसंट्रेशन है, जो उसका अमाउंट है, उसमें जो चेंज हो रहा है per unit time, that is called the rate of reaction. So formula क्या बन सकता है? Rate of reaction is change in the amount of concentration of a reactant, time taken for the change. Okay, सपोज फर्स्ट रिएक्शन है जिसमें 100 ग्राम चेंज हो रहा है इन 5 मिनट्स, और सेकंड रिएक्शन में 100 ग्राम चेंज हो रहा है इन 1 मिनट. सो वी कैन से द रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन ऑफ दिस रिएक्शन इज हाई. ओके, सो इट देयर दी साइन इज माइनस, वो हम बाद में स्टडी करेंगे प्रोडक्ट और रिएक्टेंट के लिए. सो व्हाट इज द यूनिट? वी नो दैट द कंसंट्रेशन, it is also the rate of reaction is concentration upon time na. So concentration is mole per liter, mole liter inverse, and time is second. So we can say the unit of rate of reaction is mole liter inverse second inverse. Okay, I hope you all are able to understand the unit of the rate of reaction. So now if R1 and P1, R1 and P1 are concentration of R1, R is the reactant and P is the product. So when we write it into a bracket, it is the concentration of reactant, and for the concentration of product we have to write in the P in the bracket. So it is R1, it is the P1. It is the concentration of reactant, it is the concentration of product. Okay. So if an R1 and P1 are concentration of reactant product at a time T1, okay, and R2 and P2 are the concentration of reactant and the product and at time T2. So then what, there are some kind of formulas हमको find out करने हैं. So वो क्या होगा, पहले हम चेक कर लेते हैं. There are two conditions. First time is T1, second time is T2. Here the R is R1. Okay, here is R is the R2, and the concentration of R1 is this, and concentration of R2 is this. Okay, now the time at time 2 T2 time, the R is R2 and the concentration of R2 is this, and the this is the sorry R हो गया, P चेक कर लेते हैं अपन एक बार, पूरा इसको सही से बना लेते हैं. टाइम T1 है और टाइम T2 है, ये आपका R है और ये P है. ओके, प्रोडक्ट है, तो रिएक्टेंट इज R1, product is P1. Reactant is here on T2 time, it is R2 and it is the P2, and it is the concentration of R1, concentration of R2, concentration of P1 and concentration of P2. Okay, I hope this thing is clear to you, that for the R and for the P. Okay, so now suppose we are going to calculate delta T. So how can we find out the delta T? It is the T2 minus T1, T2 minus T1. Okay, number 2 is delta R. Delta R is R2 concentration of R2 minus concentration of R1. ठीक है, और उसके बाद में है आपका डेल्टा पी, इट इज़ P2 माइनस P1। ओके, तो ये हम ऐसे फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं। डेल्टा टी इज इक्वल टू डेल्टा टी इज इक्वल टू T2 माइनस T1, डेल्टा आर इज इक्वल टू R2 माइनस R1, डेल्टा पी इज इक्वल टू चेंज इन द कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ प्रोडक्ट P2 माइनस P1। ओके, सो रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन कैसे फाइंड आउट करते हैं? रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन इन द रेस्पेक्ट ऑफ द रिएक्टेंट, it is delta R। delta R means change in the concentration of reactant, इसको बोलते हैं डेल्टा को चेंज इन कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ रिएक्टेंट टाइम, है ना, एस पर टाइम, एस पर यूनिट टाइम। तो ये हो जाएगा आपका डी डेल्टा आर अपॉन डेल्टा टी, इट इज द चेंज इन कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ रिएक्टेंट, डेल्टा आर अपॉन डेल्टा टी। क्लियर? Similarly, change in the concentration of product, so delta P upon delta T. Okay, so one thing you have to remember here, okay, so खुद से क्वेश्चन करोगे, खुद आंसर दोगे कि अबाउट द रिएक्टेंट, है ना, सपोज स्टार्टिंग में रिएक्टेंट कितना 100% है, when the reaction goes on, okay, by time the concentration of reactant is decreasing because reactant is converting into the product. So concentration of the reactant is decreasing continuously and the concentration of product is increasing continuously. So for this, the negative sign is used for the concentration of reactant, for the change in the concentration of reactant, and the positive sign is used for the concentration, change in concentration of प्रोडक्ट, मीन्स प्रोडक्ट का कंसंट्रेशन इंक्रीज हो रहा है, रिएक्टेंट का डिक्रीज हो रहा है। तो नेगेटिव और पॉजिटिव साइन क्यों यूज किया? आई थिंक इट इज क्लियर नाउ for you and I have already mentioned here. So negative sign for decreasing concentration of R, positive sign for increasing concentration of P. Now we are going to study the rate of reaction. There are two kinds of the rate of reaction, ROR जिसको मैं लिख रहा हूँ, rate of reaction। एक होगा आपका average जिसको हम लिखेंगे R average, एक होगा आपका